It's time to suit up, all you Minties, and talk about 3 brand new Marvel Omnis coming out in February and March of 2026. So let's go ahead and get started. This video is sponsored by Marvel Comics, so thank you so much to David Gabriel and the fine folks at Marvel for sending us information about these 3 new Omnis that are coming out in February. Well, 2 in February of 2026 and 1 in March of 2026. Big thank you to all of you that have shared our videos and letting other people know where you get your breaking news in the world of the Marvel Collected Edition. Big thank you. And a small reminder to hit that like button before going any further. All right. Now that you've done that, I assume, we've got 3 books to talk about. We've got a continuation of a series. Actually, these are all continuations, and you'll see what I mean when I announce each one. But the first one, let's talk about this one. This is the one that is coming out in, well, one of the ones that is coming out in February, and that is Secret Wars Battleworld Omnibus Volume 3. So it's a continuation of the Battleworld titles in the Secret Wars 2015 event. So let's look at our standard edition cover. Your standard edition cover here is supplied by Paco Medina, who is the series artist on one of these mini-series that we're going to be talking about. So we got a lot to talk about. What exactly is collected in here? In here you're going to find Marvel Zombies 1 through 4. All of these, of course, taking place in 2015. Master Kung Fu 1 through 4. Mrs. Deadpool and the Howling Commandos 1 through 4. Old Man Logan 1 through 5. Planet Hulk 1 through 4. Red Skull 1 through 3. Runaways 1 through 4. Secret Wars 2099 1 through 5. Secret Wars Agents of Atlas number 1. The Secret Wars Battleworld 4-issue miniseries. Secret Wars Journal 1 through 5, Secret Wars Secret Love 1, Secret Wars 2, that is TOO, One Shot, and then Siege 1 through 4. So this is another big book, and as all of you have noticed, that these are being collected in alphabetical order. So let's go ahead and take a look at our direct market cover. The direct market cover here is supplied by Andre Sorrentino, and this is the one that is exclusive to the direct market, while the standard edition, of course, is going to be the one that's available everywhere. So what exactly is Battleworlds? I've done an overview of Volume 1. Volume 2 hasn't come out yet, but soon to come out, and now we've got an announcement of Volume 3. Battleworlds are just these miniseries that are focusing on each of these different sectors of the Secret Wars era during 2015, whenever a certain villain, I don't want to spoil what happens, a certain villain has taken control over the Marvel Universe and has declared different sectors and given different sections of these alternate realities to different people. So it does kind of cross over in a way. You have War Zones and you have Battleworld, but you're going to find the work in here of Noelle Stevenson and also people like Hayden Blackman and Simon Spurrier, Kev Walker, Peter David, Brian Michael Bendis, Andre Sorrentino, and that is just to name a few of the creators that worked on this particular, or all these miniseries. And this is where the Old Man Logan continued the same story, the story that was started by Mark Millar and Steve McNiven in the pages of Wolverine continues in this miniseries, and you'll see how that character makes it out of this battle world and into the 616 universe. So that's the first announcements. As said, we would have 3 different announcements. So let's go back to, actually, let's talk about the announcement in March. So we're going to go back. We're going to jump around. The March announcement. This, again, is a continuation, and you'll see what I mean by this. Some of this has been collected already in an oversized format, but that was it. And the following series was only available in trade paperback. I am talking about Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and I am talking about Avengers No Surrender, No Road Home Omnibus coming out in March of 2026. Before I talk about the contents of the book, let's take a look at the standard edition cover first. The standard edition cover here is supplied by Mark Brooks. So what's going to be collected in here? Avengers 675 to 690, as well as Quicksilver No Surrender 5-issue miniseries, and then the Avengers No Road Home issues 1 through 10, which is really the follow-up to Avengers 675 to 690, and it was a weekly series. You're going to find the work in here of primarily Mark Waid with Al Ewing, Jim Zub, Pepe Larraz, and also Mark Brooks, Eric Wynn, Saladin Ahmed, just to name a few of the creators on the books. So let's look at your direct market cover. And your direct market cover is supplied by Yasmin Putri. And that one is only available through the direct market, so places like your local comic book store. So what exactly is this era? This is a really interesting era of the Avengers, where Mark Waid came back to the Avengers. This is in 2017. We went back to the legacy number, so this is after the events of Jonathan Hickman's Omnis of Avengers. So after Secret Wars and all that, that's when this takes place. And it was kind of the beginning of this Occupy Avengers, US Avengers, Uncanny Avengers, and then Avengers era, that it all came from this particular storyline. And of course, there's a big threat. The Earth is stolen, and you have characters like Rogue, Scarlet Witch, and Hulk, Squirrel Girl, Hercules, Captain Marvel, just playing a big role in this. They're not the only ones, though. And then, of course, out of that series spun out the Quicksilver miniseries that not just featured him, but of a lot of other characters. Now, No Road Home is a really interesting follow-up because it was a weekly series, and it was it was a direct follow-up to No Surrender, where the universe has gone dark and it's up to certain Avengers to bring back the light. Couple of surprises in this one if you've read it. I don't want to spoil what happens or who ends up showing up, but did not see it coming. In this book, you are going to have characters like Scarlet Witch and the Hulk and Vision. Now, it's really cool if you have read Immortal Hulk by Al Ewing, how a little bit of that ties into this. So, that is announcement number 2. Let's take it back to February of 2026. Because I said it was a continuation, and it really is, because this is the latest series for this character. I love that Marvel has been doing that recently. They have a new series on a particular character, and they immediately release an omnibus once the creator has left the book. So it is a creator-centric series. What am I talking about? Who am I talking about? None other than the Amazing Spider-Man by Zeb Wells, Omnibus Volume 1. That's right, Volume 1. Let's take a look at our standard edition cover. Your standard edition cover here is supplied by John Romita Jr., who was the series artist on the book. Well, he, along with others, of course. So let's talk about what the contents of the book is. Collected in here is Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 26. Again, this is the series that launched in 2022 after Nick Spencer's run. Dark Web one-shot, Dark Web finale number 1, Free Comic Book Day 2022, Spider-Man Venom, and Amazing Spider-Man annual number 1, as well as Fallen Friend, which is kind of an aftermath of something that horrible that happens in a particular issue. But yes, I mentioned John Romita Jr. and of course Zeb Wells' name in there. But you also have Ed McGuinness drawing some of these issues in here. Terry Dodson and Patrick Gleason coming in to draw some of the stories in here. And let's look at our direct market cover. Your direct market cover is supplied by Ben Zhu, and I love the colors in this one here. It's a great choice for a direct market cover. So, I mentioned that this takes place after Nick Spencer's run, and it takes place right before the most modern run of Spider-Man, which is, of course, the return of Joe Kelly, which started with the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. In here, you are going to see the return of classic villains like the Vulture and Dr. Octopus and Sandman, Electro, Kraven, and a different take on the Green Goblin, or at least a different take on Norman Osborn. So yes, the supporting cast gets bigger and bigger for Spider-Man. There is the return of the Hobgoblin. There's a team up with Wolverine through here. Of course, there's a big fight, well, at first, with some of the X-Men characters because of Dark Web, when it's Chasm, this new villain from the pages of Spider-Man Beyond, and Madeline Pryor teaming up to destroy New York, but mainly to destroy Spider-Man and the X-Men. Venom does make quite a return, even though if you've been reading the Al Ewing Venom, you'll see when you read it if you haven't read it. And then, of course, the team up with the Fantastic Four, Felicia Hardy, MJ, Aunt May, all play a big role in all of this. So this is the first volume. Hopefully there'll be a second volume sometime soon. Well, sometime after this book comes out soon. All right. Those are your 3 announcements for this round. In the comments down below, let me know what you're most excited for, what cover you're going to get, and don't forget, more importantly, to pre-order the books as soon as they are available for pre-order if you're, of course, interested in them. But that's it, everybody. Stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.